This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's KFI AM 640, and you're listening to The Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app.
It's Timmy time.
That's your ass. Timmy. Wow. Timmy. Ah, he's a little lamb with a lot to learn. He's always having such a lot of fun, Timmy. Wow. Timmy. Wow. Little lamb with a lot to learn.
Yes. All right. King's gone. We're bringing that song back every day at 6 p.m. We're going to belt that out because a lot of people enjoyed that. A lot of people like that, the Timmy Time theme song. So write that down in your calendar, 6 p.m. every single day. Unless, what? I'm sorry, Bella?
What about the people that didn't like it?
Oh, well, then tune in at 6:07 because we're going to hit that a lot. Unless there's, we're talking about, we're doing fire coverage or, two planes crash into each other and 700 people are sprawled all over the 405, then we may not run that. So, you get it, Bella?
Yes.
All right. Let's talk FIFA.
You okay, buddy?
Yeah. I'll be fine, man. All right, we've got the World Cup coming to Los Angeles. I thought there's 108 or 110 World Cup games. And I didn't do any research. I probably should have. But I thought, and I bet you did, that every game was going to be in L.A. Home Depot Center, SoFi Stadium, Coliseum, Pasadena, the big Rose Bowl. And I thought every game was going to be in L.A. And then I was shocked to learn that out of the 110 games that are going to be the World Cup in 2026, L.A. only gets 8. We're going to have 8 total games. We're not going to have the quarterfinals or the semifinals or even the finals. The finals are going to be in New York. They're not even going to be in New York. They're going to be in New Jersey, where the Jets and the Giants play. So I don't know why we're all, sprucing up the streets and getting ready for the World Cup, because we're not going to get many games. We're going to get 8 games. 8. So anyway, I know a lot of people are excited about it. Soccer is not my thing, but I understand it's popular. So we will let you know. Tickets are available and the price and the date. So let's roll.
So the tournament, it's 10 months away, but we are thinking about it right now, right? Because it's coming to L.A., it's coming to SoFi Stadium. So the ticket hype is happening. And yes, we have new information on how it all works. So here is your step-by-step guide. First, at least for this first phase, you have to have a Visa credit or debit card. And that is because the first phase of ticket sales, this kind of pre-sale time, is for Visa members only.
Oh, I didn't know that. But I think most people have a Visa. Robin, do you have a Visa card? Is there a Visa card in your wallet or your handbag or your purse or your gym bag?
Of course.
You have Visa?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
Crozier, you probably got a Visa somewhere, right?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Bellio, you got Visa?
Yep.
Has Visa allowed you credit?
Yep.
Angel, you got a Visa card?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, we're all set. We can all go to...
Everybody.
Everybody's going to the World Cup.
The entry period for the draw starts next Wednesday, September 10th at 8 a.m.
Oh, did you hear that? That's important. Important information.
The entry period for the draw starts next Wednesday, September 10th at 8 a.m.
8 a.m. next Wednesday, which, by the way, I don't know if you've heard, the weather is going to be spectacular next week. Oh, I gotta lay this on you. This is great. The weather for next week in Los Angeles, let's start with the Valley. The high temperature next Wednesday, a week from yesterday, will be 76 degrees. It's going to feel chilly. It's going to go down to 61 at night. 76 will be the high next Wednesday in the San Fernando Valley. That is sweater weather, almost, I guess. Sort of.
Sweater weather.
Yeah, sweater weather. But in Huntington Beach, your high next week will be 74 degrees. Sweater weather. And then if you live up in the mountains, next week, the high on Friday is 62 degrees. 44 is the low. So next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the low is 49, 47, 45, and 48 in Big Bear, up in the mountains. It's getting chilly. It's getting cold. 64, 63, 62, and 67 will be the high in Big Bear. Lancaster, I know we got a lot of people who listen to KFI out in the Lancaster area. Next Wednesday, the high in Lancaster, 77 degrees. Low, 59. 59 degrees. You can finally sleep with your window open at night and have a good night's sleep. Now, the Inland Empire. We're the number one talk show in the Inland Empire in Los Angeles.
Hey, now.
Yeah, isn't that great, Crows? Does that make you feel better? We're number one.
Always known that.
Yeah, okay.
I was pushing the extolling the virtues of the Inland Empire and our listening audience out there as long as I've been here.
That's true. That's true. When how long ago did you move to Montclair? Claremont, sorry.
93. But even before that, I was in Cucamonga.
Okay, so and when were you in Cucamonga?
Like from 80 or from 90 on.
Okay, so you've been out there for 35 years.
Yeah.
And Crozier's always been a big fan of the Inland Empire. He's the king of the Inland
I've always said underserved audience by us, but not for you.
Yeah, no, I'd love it out there. If I do it all over again, I'd buy a house out there and raise my daughter out there. Probably alone because my wife wouldn't slide out there, but maybe, never know. 86 will be the high next Thursday in the Inland Empire. 64 is your low. It's going to be 64 degrees in the Inland Empire next week. So that's going to be great. I'm going to the Inland Empire. Is Hemet the Inland Empire? Is that part of Hemet? Is Hemet part of the Inland Empire? Like South?
Yeah.
South IE?
Yeah.
I
mean, Riverside, San Bernardino. Yeah.
Buzzing out there tomorrow. All right, for people going to Mammoth, how about this? It's going to be 36 degrees next Thursday in Mammoth. Bellio, you're a big fan of Mammoth. I know that you and John Bellio like to buzz out there, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you eating?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not now.
A big old sandwich.
No.
Big old bites.
Wrong.
Big bites.
Wrong.
36 is the low. 54 is the high in Mammoth. That's skiing weather. Get out there and enjoy yourself. And then one more here, and then we'll get back to news. The coast, Santa Monica, Malibu. Next week, your high is 74 degrees. Low is 59. 59 degrees. So all this crazy heat we've had last week and a half, 2 weeks, it's all going away by midweek next week, and we're going back to fall. So decorate for Halloween. Get yourself ready for Thanksgiving, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, New Year's. We're on the way. We're on our way. When we come back, Dean Sharp will be with us. That guy's always great. And we'll talk to Dean Sharp. He's got some cool things to chat about. And don't forget, before we talk to Dean, you've got to make sure you have the most beautiful radio in the world. There's nobody better when it comes to building radios than C. Crane. I will stand by that. Clear, precise, pleasing audio to the ear. And I'm not reading this. That's just my opinion. Battery and signal strength is terrific. FM stereo, mono. Oh, I just love it. I love a good mono. Also, rubber protected sides, a heavy weight to the radio. That's what you need. And if the S hits the fan and, your internet's out, your electricity's out, you need a good radio to stay on top of things. Go to ccrane.com. C, letter C, and then Crane. C-R-A-N-E. ccrane.com, ccrane.com.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
Dean Sharp is with us. He's the House Whisperer. He does a show every single Saturday morning, 8 a.m. here on KFI. And then on Sunday from 9 a.m. until noon. Welcome to the program. How you, bub?
You know what? I'm great. I just spent, I know you can appreciate this, I spent the last 45 minutes enjoying one of the most satisfying things a man can engage in.
Oh, you're listening to our show? That's awesome.
Well, as you can, I was actually referring to pressure washing. I've been pressure washing.
Okay. Well, you know what? I think you're right. I think pressure washing, of all the things I do around the house, Crozier will attest to this because he just recently bought his first one. There's nothing more satisfying than pressure washing. Nothing.
There isn't.
Ugh.
There isn't. It's just the best. I am a huge pressure washing
I'm with you.
advocate.
But
Just huge.
here's the problem with it, and you'll know this, and Crozier will as well. When you're pressure washing, the mist gives you a false sense that your body's not hot, and you get exhausted and dehydrated because you feel like you're cool, but your body needs more water. And once you're done pressure washing, you're exhausted and dehydrated.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're standing in line at an amusement park
That's
ride
right.
with those misters all around you.
That's
'Cause
right.
the mist is all around you. And then you realize, wow, I've just been out in the sun for 2 hours. That's no good.
That's right. Let me talk to you real quickly about this. I know Bellio, this is one of her big things. How much a foundation and movement in your foundation is acceptable and when to worry. When you start to see cracks on the outside of your house, should you immediately be alarmed?
You should move out and sell immediately.
Okay.
Just sell the
Sell
house.
to some other chump, huh?
Try and clean them up. Try and hide them. Sell the house. Don't report them and leave the state.
That's great. Okay. All right. That's great advice.
Yeah. No, it always works out that
Yeah.
way. No, you know what? That's probably the trickiest thing about foundation repair is figuring out, is this a real problem? Because here's the thing. Foundations crack because they're made of concrete. Okay. Concrete cracks. We say in this business, there are only two kinds of concrete in the world: concrete that has cracked and concrete that has not cracked yet.
Okay.
So concrete's going to crack. It's just the nature of what concrete is. It's very, very strong, incredibly strong in one way, and that is what we call compressive strength. You could take a 6-inch by 6-inch block of concrete that is that's rated at, let's say, 3,200 psi, 3,200 pounds per square inch of resistive force, and you could park your car on that block of concrete and it would not even know it was there. Okay.
Wow.
And then you take that same block of concrete. Here's the problem, though, because that's compressive strength, but concrete is also very brittle. So you can take that same block of concrete and just carry it into the garage and whack it with a hammer and crack it right in two. Okay. So that's why we put rebar in concrete, the reinforcement steel. Because the reinforcement steel helps it with the fact that it's brittle and helps hold it together. But even at that, as years pass, as years turn into decades, the concrete settles, the ground shifts because it's only as good as the ground that it's sitting on. And then eventually we get cracks, but little tiny spider cracks, what we call spider cracks, kind of like webby kind of things, in which there's no separation and there's no change in elevation from one side of the crack to the other. Those are the things that we're really looking for. Okay. Is that crack opening up and is it rising up? Is one side all of a sudden, a quarter of an inch or a half an inch above the other side? Now we've got reason to be concerned and we should call in some pros to take a look at it.
Okay. But now where do cracks most happen? Are they near the doorways where it's not as solid, or are they interior walls, exterior walls? Where do you see them most often?
Cracks are going to occur. It's hard for me to tell you, okay, it's going to happen here,
right,
because every house layout is different, but cracks are going to occur in the easiest place possible. So wherever we've got a thin stretch of concrete versus a thicker stretch of concrete, or where we've got a short corner, pressure on that area. Think of a cracker. And
Okay.
I hate to freak people out when they, think of a cracker, and depending on where you put pressure on that cracker, where is it going to crack? Well, chances are, if you start to bend it, probably one of the corners is going to snap kind of diagonally across the corner, those kinds of things. So part of the art of pouring concrete and designing concrete is to get it to crack where we want it to, but where we expect it to, and to be ready for that and to reinforce it. But when it comes to a foundation, there is no such thing as scoring a foundation so that we're encouraging it to crack. We just don't want it to at all.
Right.
And so as a result, we got to keep an eye on it. If a floor is starting to sink out of level, if it's starting to dip, if you can feel that you're going downhill when
Right.
you're crossing the living room, these
Yeah.
are things to be concerned about. Yeah.
Okay. Can you stay with us?
Sure.
Okay, Dean Sharp is with us. We'll come back and talk to him more about foundations, and we have some more ideas as well. But don't forget, this Saturday is the big lottery, $1.7 billion with a B, $billion. So you want to get your tickets. If nobody wins on Saturday, it could go to $2 billion by Monday. So go get your tickets. Dean Sharp is with us. He's on every Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. here on Saturday, and then on Sunday, 9 a.m. until noon.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. On Demand from KFI AM 640.
Dean Sharp is with us. He's on every weekend, Saturday morning and Sunday morning right here on KFI. We're talking about foundations. And this all came up because Bellio has a wall she lives in this huge palace in Irvine, and one of her walls that is surrounding the moat at her house is leaning. What's going on with you, Bellio?
So it's at my moat, the wall's leaning. So a company that they put cables into your grass, I guess, and they hook it onto the wall and they pull it back. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
Are those any good to help with that?
Sure. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Dean. Excellent.
So here's the problem, Sharon. Here's the problem. Here's the problem is that there's no magic bullet for any one thing. And that's one of the most difficult things about foundation repair, retaining wall repairs, because we see different situations all the time. So yeah, that is a fix. That's one of the fixes that sometimes works. Okay.
Wait, there's another one that Bellio, they offered Bellio. What about the foam?
The foam that expands.
Yeah, so it sounds to me like maybe the soil underneath this wall is starting to like there's an irrigation issue.
Yes, that's what I said.
Like there's a washout issue because if they're talking about foam, then they're talking about filling voids.
Yes.
Voids in the soil underneath the footing. And I'm not sure that I would I'm not here's the thing. I got no problem doing a sidewalk with foam underneath a sidewalk or some flat work, all right? But if this is a retaining wall, I mean, if it's holding back the hillside from falling into the moat, okay, then I'm not filling it up with foam. I'm not filling it up with foam. I'm probably filling it up with more cement, more concrete, all right? And before that, I'm trying to figure out, where is this water coming from? Why am I getting washout under this wall? And how can we stop that from happening? Maybe we need to excavate the backside of the wall and get some French drain action down at the bottom so that we can because I'll tell you what, Sharon, one of the things that that no wall anywhere, no concrete anywhere on planet Earth survives, and that is what we call hydrostatic pressure, water in the soil pushing on one side of the wall. The water will win.
Oh,
always.
Really?
It will always win.
Okay.
It will always win. So we have to find a way to waterproof the wall and drain. That's what French drains at the bottom of retaining walls are all about. And weeps at the bottom of retaining walls. And what I mean by that is at the bottom of retaining wall, we will often leave areas of the mortar open so that moisture can come through the wall at the bottom, because what we don't want is water building up at the base of that wall, because it will. Here's the thing. You just take a trip to the Grand Canyon and you take a look at this 10-mile wide hole, okay, in solid rock, and just remind yourself, water always wins.
It started with water,
I also have a question. Is this true? Someone once told me that a house that's 50 years or older will shift up to a foot in that 50-year span.
It can shift, but will it shift? No. That's somebody saying, sure, a house can move up to a foot, up or down, depending, and that's relative elevation. Okay, and so what we mean is the entire neighborhood may shift up and down a foot in a 50-year span. That doesn't mean that the house, sitting in your yard, all of a sudden why is my house a foot taller than it was 50 years ago?
Why am I closer to the neighbor?
So just remember that a foundation is a snowshoe. Okay, it's sitting there. It's this broad thing that's trying to lay itself out and kind of key itself into the soil. But I said kind of at the beginning, foundation's only good as the soil that it's sitting on, and so it's trying its best to kind of float out all this weight and spread it out as far as possible on the soil. And that's why when it comes to this, we don't turn to the concrete guys who built the walls. We don't turn to the concrete guys who pour the slabs. We turn to specialty concrete contractors. And those are the guys, by the way, that I have on the show this
that's
Sunday.
great.
I've got Mark and James from Foundation Repair LA. These guys are the finest foundation repair surgeons in the land. And so we're going to spend 3 hours talking about all these different kinds of things. And that's why it's so critical that you have somebody look at it like me, who you trust, to tell you honestly what should happen next. Because, anybody, because you have no idea what's going on with this wall. And anybody could come out and say, oh, yeah, we're going to use some cheese whiz and some, and you're like, okay, I guess if that's standard practice. And so it's just an area that is so obscure, so out of the wheelhouse of most homeowners that you just got to get eyes on by somebody that you can trust. And believe me, there's some people out there who will just take advantage and just, not that they won't fix the problem ultimately, but fix it for 3 times as more money than it needs to be. And so, and you wouldn't know any better. And so that it's a tough area, and that's why we're trying to address it this time.
Bellio, are other places around you also experiencing water and walls moving?
Yes.
Okay, then it's a huge problem. I would move.
Yeah, it's the soil. He's right. It's the soil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this sounds like it is a development-wide soil issue.
But then, shouldn't her homeowners association take care of it? If it's well, but it is
the funniest thing you've said all day.
But if it's affecting 5 or 6 units, they should. That's one of the reasons why you pay for that.
Is it?
Isn't it, Bellio?
Is it?
Yes.
No, here's the thing. Homeowners, I mean, if there is a fundamental flaw in the development.
That's right. That's what happened.
Then sure, maybe the homeowners association will be on the hook, with their massive dues that they collect, right? And their huge trust fund savings account after several lawsuits. Okay. But it's really not what the homeowners association is for. It's really outside of their purview. And I'm not sure in most CCNRs, and I'm sorry for using that term, covenants, codes, and restrictions, that means the agreement that you have in your property with the homeowners association. Most of the time, the homeowners association is not on the hook for, oh, by the way, the entire third block of the development is moving quickly towards the second block of the development. Usually they're not on the hook for that kind of stuff. They're just the people who maintain the community pool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what you get when you build a house, or in your case, Bellio, on the site of an old garbage dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bad move.
So, you know what? Hey, here's the thing. There is hope, though. There is hope. There is hope.
Thank
so
you,
listen into Sunday's show.
I will.
Talk to Mark and James. They'll get it straightened. If these guys can't fix it, then you have to do what I said at the beginning, which is just move out, leave the state, and everything will be
Starting
fine.
to sound better
But
and better.
if it can be fixed,
it can be
these
fixed.
These guys have an answer.
I'll get down there this weekend, Belly. I'll knock that out.
We're
for you.
busy this weekend.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right, Dean, thanks. Saturday and Sunday right here on KFI. We'll talk to you next week.
Hey, and Saturday, by the way, I'm going to be out there at American Vision with
Windows.
you.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
I'll see you there.
I'll see you there. All right, thanks, man. All right, Dean Sharp will be out there this Saturday in Simi Valley from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. at American Vision Windows. So get on out there. I'll be there from 1 to 3, and there's a lot of fun, food, and prizes. So if you live in Simi Valley, Thousand Oaks, Moore Park, that whole area, we don't get out there often, but we're out there this Saturday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll see you there.
You're listening to Tim Conway Jr. on demand from KFI AM 640.
Back when Staples Center was being built and all the unbelievable condominiums that were being erected downtown Los Angeles, and everybody wanted to move to downtown. It seemed like such a beautiful move, spacious, big apartments and lofts downtown L.A. There was a vibe where everybody was moving to downtown L.A., and you didn't want to be left out. You wanted to get like a condo down there or some kind of townhouse or an apartment and be part of the resurgence that's downtown L.A. All right. Well, that was 30 years ago. How's it going in downtown L.A.?
We were given the opportunity to speak with those tenants inside their homes. They invited us into their apartments to show us what they call unlivable conditions.
What?
Unlivable conditions.
Unlivable conditions. Man, it went from the gold rush to unlivable conditions pretty quickly.
We also also had the opportunity to speak with the landlord, who says that she's actually willing to do repairs, but she blames the tenants for the fact that things haven't been fixed.
First thing Wednesday morning, City of Los Angeles housing inspectors came knocking at an apartment complex on South Wright Street.
You guys all have a good day. We were refused access. You heard it. So, anyways, you have a good day.
They didn't get far.
Yeah,
the
good
person
night.
who turned away the inspectors is the building's owner and landlord, who said the city didn't give her 30 days notice. The people around the door are tenants who tell us they've been complaining about their living conditions for years, and they're demanding a change. Inviting us inside to show missing ceilings, limited light, what appears to be mold, holes in walls, plumbing issues.
That's downtown. It was the golden jewel of downtown for a while. Everybody wanted a piece of it. Now?
Inviting us inside to show missing ceilings.
Missing ceilings. What happened to the ceiling? It's missing. What happened to it? I don't know. It's just missing.
Limited light, what appears to be mold, holes in walls, plumbing issues.
There you go. Downtown L.A.
The building, which sits directly under the 10-110 interchange, has 43 units. It's unclear how many are occupied, but tenants say dozens of people are in the same boat.
Wait a minute. How close is it to the 110 and the 10? What did
The
they
building,
say?
which sits directly under the 10-110 interchange, has
Oh, the 10-110 interchange.
It's unclear how many are occupied, but tenants say dozens of people are in the same boat.
Esto ha sido un infierno.
Tenant Adriana Montes has lived here over 2 years. She says it's been hell. This isn't life.
Hi, are you Nala? Hi. I'm Karma. This is Maria Paula. We're from NBC and Telemundo. We're doing a story about some conditions tenants have been complaining about.
The owner is Nella Petrusin, who also lives there.
I can't do repairs if they don't let me in.
Both the landlord and tenants accuse each other of violence and intimidation.
Oh, this is the worst. When you hate your landlord and your landlord hates the tenants, nothing gets done. Nothing.
And they deny the other's allegations.
They don't want repairs. What they want is discounted rent.
Petrusin says most people's rent is between $500 and $800 a month.
That's a good deal. $500 to $800 living in downtown LA.
Though some may be required to pay less because of the condition of their apartments.
Oh.
This building was built in 1929. As you can tell, the rents reflect the age. So it's an old building. I fixed everything, but it's an old building.
The City of L.A. Housing Department website shows the city has received over 100 complaints about the condition of the property.
Wow, 100 complaints. That's people taking time to actually complain. Can you imagine how horrible that building is if it has 100 complaints? Because most people don't want to make any waves. Maybe you're, you got 3 jobs. You don't have time to go to downtown L.A. and go through all the paperwork and all the politics to complain to the right people. So there must be hundreds and hundreds of people complaining.
Many marked as resolved, but others have led to legal action. The LA City Attorney's Office confirms the landlord Petrusin is accused of 43 counts of tenant harassment, 19 counts of building code violations, 3 counts of battery.
A fun place to live. Where there's just arguments and fights all day long.
Tenant harassment, 19 counts of building code violations, 3 counts of battery,
Wow.
2 counts of unlawful demand for rent, relating to complaints from July of 2024 to June of 2025. She has another pending criminal case regarding 16 alleged building code violations from a May 2024 inspection.
We've been fighting for a couple years now to get the building taken from her control and for the conditions to change in the building.
David Albright is a member of the LA Tenants Association who has helped the tenants of this building organize.
And it's our position that no one should be allowed to own a building who treats their tenants like this.
The people who live here tell us they feel they must fight for this place.
1,500 más el entre.
Adding up the costs, moving, Montes says, is simply too expensive.
And the landlord's actually due in court tomorrow to face some of those charges and then due in court on October 30th.
Oh, that's wild. What a wild place to live, downtown Los Angeles. Hey, if you're a big Uber fan, we'll do this story, I don't know, maybe tomorrow. If we're on tomorrow, I think we're not on tomorrow. Chargers and the Chiefs are on tomorrow. But Uber is now taking cash. If you're an Uber driver and you want to pay in cash, you can do so now in Los Angeles. All right, Mo Kelly coming up next. Conway Show on demand on the iHeartRadio app. Now, you can always hear us live on KFI AM 640, 4 to 7 p.m., Monday through Friday, and anytime on demand on the iHeartRadio app.